Hi guys, hope you're doing well. I just wanted to hop on here and tell you the results of all your comments regarding what you think was wrong with my motorbike. I had so many comments, so many emails. I think the most popular comment was it was a battery fault, which is what I thought, if I'm honest with you. I did have the battery checked and it was fine, perfect. So it wasn't that. I think another common comment was maybe a dirty sensor. Now, I don't know if I've got a dirty sensor. That sounds wrong, weirdly. But since the bike is now running fine and I've spoken to someone who told me why it happened, I don't think it's the sensor. I had various other comments about what it could be. A lot of people said that it was the bike getting the hump with me because it's heard that another bike's arriving in the garage soon. It might be that. And also, I wish I could remember his name. I should have looked. You know who you are. Said that the KTRC that was flashing on the little instrument cluster, which is the traction control, which was flashing off, that actually stands for Kawasaki thinks wrong color. I know wrong is spelled differently, but in this case we let it slide. And apparently Kawasaki have got a sensor that if you put an aftermarket part on the bike that doesn't match it, like my nose cone, it will throw up a warning. That's brilliant. Honestly, that's so clever. Thank you so much. But I did, a number of you got it right. Well, I say got it right. I think you got it right. You got it right as far as Alan's concerned, because Alan sent me an email saying, I've got a Z900RS and I experienced exactly the same problem as you did. And he hasn't had, I should have said, it was, a lot of you said it could have been down to the remap. Now, I was really convinced that it was nothing to do with the remap. When I looked into the remap, I researched it honestly so much, not only the remap, but the place that was doing it just around the corner from me. And I couldn't find one negative point, one thing that made me think, oh, I better not do this, because I was invalidating the warranty. So I wasn't worried that it was a remap, but a few of you thought, well, maybe it could be. And one in particular, and I'm going to read his email out in a bit. But Alan emailed me and said the same thing happened to me. And he investigated it through Kawasaki. And it turned out that it was due to using the accelerator too quickly after starting it up. Apparently, the ECU takes a second to set itself up, and if you turn the bike on, and on that day, I didn't mention this at the time. On that day, we had relatives over. My other half's relatives were here, and their car was really parked close to the garage door. So I had to get the bike out because I was going down to but I had to get it out at an angle. So I started it up straight away, and then I turned the accelerator. Let me just spin the camera around and show you. So I started the bike up, and straight away I had my hand on the accelerator, on the throttle, to turn the handlebar so I could get it out at an angle. But because I was doing that, I turned the accelerator all the way up to the off position because the revs dropped. And this was literally straight after I started it. Now, I then obviously backed it out, so I wasn't looking at the instrument cluster. But then when I got it out, I noticed that all the lights were on. Now, when I did that, I noticed the revs dropping down to 1,000 revs, and I think that was where the problems were. I'd literally just started the bike, whereas usually I start the bike and let it tick over a few minutes and let it warm up. This time I started the bike, and even though I wasn't accelerating, I twisted the throttle because of the pressure of turning the handlebars, and it dropped the revs down, and I think it confused the ECU. That is what Alan thinks. That's what Kawasaki seemed to think it could have been. And I think that's good enough for me. Let me spin the camera back around. So guys, that's what I think it is. So it probably is user error. As in, I always let the bike just tick over till it's warm. That's how I've always done it. And this time I wasn't accelerating, so it wasn't that. It was the fact that I was turning the handlebars and then decelerating, if you like, and it just reduced the revs down to 1,000 revs, and I'd literally just started it, so the ECU hadn't done its checks. I think that's right. It sounds perfectly feasible to me. I'll take that. I've done 100 miles on the bike since, and I've had no problems with it. So, Alan, thank you so much, mate. I was on the phone to him 3 times, I think, and yeah, I'm pretty certain that that's what the fault was. Thank you, everybody. I did have a negative email. and I'm going to read it out to you. And do you know what? I wasn't going to, but I watched Volcanic Brown's video this morning or yesterday. Now he's a motorcycle channel. He's got a lot of old motorbikes, and the last video he did, which I didn't watch, and he's taken it down now, so I can't watch, generated a lot of abuse, and he had to block 6 people or over 6 people on one video about motorbike maintenance. I mean, astonishing. He also got, I think, 140 thumbs down, so more thumbs down than he did thumbs up. I mean, that is incredible for a completely harmless motorbike channel. It's not like a political channel or something that would get people riled. This is just a normal guy talking about and maintaining his old motorbikes, and he gets that amount of abuse. It shocks me. It still shocks me. I mean, I've got used to the odd muppet that come on here, and all I do now is block them. I don't even give them the time of day. But I did get an email on my last video regarding the bike falling apart, oh, not falling apart, but not running right. And I'm going to read it out to you, because this is, I don't get it. I mean, I know there's a lot of muppets out there, but to bother sending me an email, almost a gloat, is just beyond me. All I can think is that this guy was bullied at school. I just don't get it. Let me read it out to you. I don't know what his name is, but in the email address, I'm going to take my glasses off. In the email address, I think his name might be Borrow or something. Anyway, you've made my day. I haven't laughed like this for ages. I tried to tell you that remapping your ECU on a brand new £10,000 motorcycle will not only invalidate your warranty, but will cause you problems in the future. And here we are, less than 6 months later. That's what happens when people like you think they know better than giant Japanese motorcycle companies like Kawasaki. Foolish behaviour deserves absolutely no sympathy. You've made your bed, now you have to lie in it. There's one born every minute, Will. I get a lot of people were against me remapping my motorbike for concern out of me that I spent £10,000 on a motorbike and I'm going to do something that will invalidate the warranty. I get that, but the normal human reaction, I would like to think, isn't that. To me, that is just and the problem is, I don't know what his username is on YouTube, so I can't even block him. I get a little bit of satisfaction when someone's abusive in the comments. I can block them. In an email, I don't know what his username is. So yeah, if it's you, man up and put it in a comment so I can block you. I know you're not going to. Anyway, guys, I'm not ranting. It's just I was watching Volcanic Brown and I thought, do you know what? It's not right. It's not right. Guys, I've decided to paint the garage door green, as in Kawasaki green. Kawasaki tank green, not Kawasaki nose cone green. Well, actually, it's neither. It's just green. I don't have any time to start making designs, and I'm not going to do a flag because that clearly wasn't going to work. And yeah, so it's going to be Kawasaki-ish green. And the Royal Enfield Classic 350 will be here in the next, I don't know, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. It's Christmas next week. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. You really are the best channel. And also, can I ask you to give me a thumbs up? I'm just curious to see if people do give me a thumbs up. I never look at the analytics. If Volcanic Brown watches this, don't look at the analytics. It doesn't interest me. I'm not really a proper YouTube channel. I don't want to know facts and figures and who watches and why and how long they watch and how big their Watsits are. I don't want to know. But I'm sure if I did look, I've probably got thousands of thumbs down, and it will probably make me think, why do I bother? So I don't. Ignorance is bliss, right? Anyway, guys, have a great rest of the week, and I will catch you on the next one. Ride safe, guys.